So one thing that really helps to build resiliency is being able to be optimistic. And I'm sure we've all experienced so many different situations that make it hard to be optimistic. So it is this something that we can build and that we can practice, and we can start to see that glass half full, and we can start to see the little positives. And if you are someone that is not, you may not identify with being optimistic, then recognize that you do have some space to grow and change in this way. And when you do, your resiliency is going to be able to be stronger. So to start doing that, thinking about like in each day, in each situation, it's almost really that gratitude practice of like, what can I be grateful for? What can I see the good in this? And how can I see a lesson in this, even if it's not quite a positive situation in general? And not to sugarcoat everything, because don't worry, we talk a lot about emotional processing. So feeling those things, but recognizing that in every situation to start to pull out the good and start to pull out, the ability to say that this could be a positive in some way. What's actually happening in our brain, Mary, when we do that?
It's so neat the power that we have just even if something was really emotionally a difficult situation to use a really strategic mindset and say, you kind of back up and take the high level view of a situation when you're able to. So one thing that can help that is journaling. So sometimes when you need to write something down, a full sentence, you'll see the information a little bit more clearly than if you just let it just be in your head. So if it's a tough situation, but you want to kind of learn from it and use your strategic mindset, one thing is to journal about it for a while. That tends to help your brain organize the thoughts and bring together both emotions and the facts. So that's one way to try to get there. The other thing to acknowledge is that, the researchers show that people who go the farthest in life and are most professionally successful or personally successful have a strategic mindset. And what does that mean? It means they're always reevaluating things. Like I've always done things this way, but maybe I could tweak it and do it a little this way this time. So you're always looking at things like Ali said, what was the win there? What did you learn from this situation? It drives people crazy sometimes, and I'm always like, I always think of it as efficiency. It's like, well, I think we could do this. Let's have this system now. Let's do this. And people are like, why you have to change? I always want to improve things. That's what I always want to make sure we're doing the most efficient thing and saving our time and energy for other things. Why do we want to waste time on a sloppy system? So they say, like, look at your system. How do you make things happen over and over consistently? But yeah, so if we can get to positive emotions in the brain, even if we have a little bit of hope, it changes our day tremendously. So sometimes that we have to kind of slow down. We have to, use all of our senses. And if you just can't get there, you're kind of stuck. Going for a walk can do that because it'll turn on, it'll bring in more senses, visually, auditory, all that, you'll feel the breeze, your legs will be moving, your heart rate will go up. It'll bring your brain more oxygen. So sometimes you physically have to change where you are and what activity you're doing, a little stretch or something, go into nature. Because if you're just thinking about a scary or a difficult situation, if we want to get to the creative brain, we have to turn on more senses so we get out of the scared, anxious part. The other way to get there to our higher level thinking, to more positive emotional state is gratitude. I know we hear a lot about this, but they say, a couple days a week, write down 3 things or just say out loud to somebody and have an accountability partner. Maybe do it together with your residents. I'm grateful I get to work. I'm grateful I can work. I see I treat multiple sclerosis. I see a lot of folks who can't work, really want to get to work. And so, sometimes, I got a meeting, I had this. Instead, you say, I get to go to a meeting. So sometimes it's a little trick that you can turn on the positive emotions. And also sometimes you think of the higher reason that you're going to work. So the altruism. So bring in, you're going to go help those babies be born in a healthy way. You're going to support the women. You're going to support those teen women that are, just learning about their bodies and figuring out their sexuality. I have such a role as a gynecologist in every phase of women's lives, which is so neat, So I, you know, I just sometimes you have to go really high level. Like, I can't believe I get to work in this environment. I can't believe I get to influence people's lives. I can't believe I get to give them this information. So sometimes you really have to recall why you're there and be grateful, even though it's annoying and you're tired or you're hungry. But you try to go into that kind of higher level, look down, and always have that strategic mindset. How can I make that a little bit better? And that's called, sometimes they'll say, systems. You want to improve your systems. Like, what do you do for your success? So yeah, just keep rethinking things a little bit at a time, small changes, and try to get to the positive emotional states because that's your more creative side. You got this, guys.